Why are gut health issues like SIBO on the rise? Here's what you need to know and how you can avoid it. It's 2 p.m. You just had lunch, and instead of feeling energized and ready to conquer your day, your stomach feels like a balloon. Sound familiar? You're far from alone. Gut health issues like SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, are becoming more and more common. It is probably uncommon to come across someone who has never had any type of IBS, IBD diagnosis at some point in their lives at this point. They are literally wreaking havoc on millions of people across the globe. But what's the reason for the uptick? And more importantly, what can we do to avoid them altogether? So let's dive into the issues that are leading to these gut health problems and how you can keep your gut functioning like the powerhouse that it was meant to be. Let's start with just a quick explanation on what SIBO is. That is when the bacteria that's in your large intestine finds its way into your small intestine. That's the overgrowth happening. Now, your small intestine is not meant to handle that kind of bacterial load, and that's when we start to feel those gut issues, the tightness, the bloating, the gas, the indigestion, the diarrhea. And on top of that, we're also not digesting nutrients optimally. So because of that, if we're leaving SIBO untreated, we can end up with nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, and those things can lead to bigger health issues down the road. Now, there are plenty of reasons why SIBO and other gut issues are on the rise, but let's dive into 5 of the most common reasons. Number 1, the rise of processed foods. The Western diet is killing us, literally. There's a reason we call it the standard American diet, and it is very, very fitting that the acronym is SAD, because that's what our diet is. It is very, very sad. And I'm not even going to put the blame on most of us. We do need to take responsibility for the things we're putting into our bodies, but the way foods are marketed, whether they're organic or, just something else you're grabbing off of the shelf, there is a lot of processed shit. And I want to scale back on that because processed is everything. All foods are processed. That's what makes them safe for us to eat via the handling and packaging and, preserving of those things. So let me scale that back and say the highly processed foods, all the foods that have a ton of additives and additional ingredients that just simply don't need to be in there. So these foods end up being extremely low in fiber, which is critical for gut health, as we'll dive into in a minute, and extremely high in refined sugars. And I'm also not out there to demonize those of you who are enjoying things that have added sugars in them, but moderation is key, and it is very, very difficult to enjoy anything in moderation because it's just hidden in everything. So to focus on those 2 key areas, fiber and sugar, when your diet is consistently low in fiber, when it is consistently really high in those refined sugars, those highly processed sugars and highly processed foods, we are feeding the bad bacteria and starving the good bacteria. And that imbalance is one of the biggest reasons why SIBO in particular is thriving. It's rising. It's very, very common because of this specific diet. The good guys in your gut, the good bacteria, they need fiber to thrive. They need it simply to survive. So whole foods, fruits, veggies, whole grains, legumes, they need to become a staple. Now, number 2 is extremely fitting because it slides right into a treatment for SIBO, and that is antibiotics. And the number 2 reason for the rise of gut health issues like SIBO is the overuse of antibiotics. Now, let's get this straight first. Antibiotics save lives. There is absolutely no denying that. But there is a catch. The overuse of antibiotics, using them consistently, using them when they aren't the absolute need for a specific treatment, because antibiotics don't differentiate. They don't discriminate against one type of bacteria versus another. So they're not only wiping out the bad guys, they're also wiping out the good guys. And it does take time and consistency to rebuild those good guys. And as we just talked about in the first point, we're already lacking. So these guys don't have an environment to thrive in, and we're wiping them out even as they start to build up. Number 3 is stress. Stress does not only affect your mental health, it plays a huge role in your gut health. Your gut and your brain are constantly in communication via the gut-brain axis. So when we're chronically stressed, our digestive system takes a big hit. Stress can slow digestion. It can actually slow down the blood flow to your gut, and that's going to lead to some issues with absorbing nutrients properly. Not to mention that stress just leads to chronic lifestyle choices, poor lifestyle choices. Eating fast food, skipping meals, binging on a bunch of junk. All this creates the perfect storm for gut problems. Number 4, sedentary lifestyle. Our bodies were made to move, and in this convenience of modern day life, we typically work behind a desk. We can order groceries from that very same computer, and we aren't called to move nearly as often as we used to be. But the truth is, physical activity is essential for optimal gut health. It keeps your digestive system running smoothly, improves circulation, and supports the growth of healthy bacteria. Again, when you're not moving very often, digestion slows, and that again can lead to that SIBO. And number 5 is relating directly to that first topic, but we're going to dial that back even further. diets being specifically high in those refined sugars. So again, just to reiterate what we were talking about in that first point, those refined sugars tend to feed the bad bacteria. So when we're not feeding the good guys, we're giving the bad guys more than they need. They're growing, they're thriving, we're suffering. All right, this video is not made to depress you, so let's follow that up with 5 steps you can take to improve your gut health. Number 1, you guessed it, prioritize whole food, nutrient-dense, fiber-rich foods. We've already pointed out that we are lacking in that area, and because of it, the guys that we need to thrive are currently starving. So let's feed them. Load up on the fiber. Ideally, 20 to 40 grams per day is a good range, but you want to go low and slow. So as you increase your fiber, aim for about an average of 5 additional grams per week. So if you're averaging 10 grams right now per day, by next week, bring that average up to 15 grams per day. The following week, 20 grams per day. Also increase your water consumption. That's going to help with, alleviating some of the concerns with additional gas and bloating as you do increase the good guys, because that can still lead to some short-term discomfort. Number 2, we're going to keep problem solving, get moving. We talked about the improvement in your blood flow, your circulation to your gut, improved absorption of nutrients. So make sure you are moving your body, even if you're not getting to the gym right now. Take a walk at lunchtime, take a morning walk to get that morning sunlight as well, so you get to double up on the good guys, the good benefits. Bottom line is that this is such an easy area to address right away. Break your day up. A couple 10-minute walks will go a very long way in improving your health, especially when it comes to your gut. Number 3, we're going to continue to counter those problems we talked about before. Manage your stress levels. Now, what we talked about last, moving, taking those walks, that's a big way to improve your overall stress levels and stress management. One thing that I love is also adding in some meditation. Now, if you are not so into that at the moment, start with some focused breathing. For 1 to 3 minutes, just focus on deep breaths, all the way in, all the way out. Just feel that movement through your nose. If you want to feel it in your stomach, just pick a point of emphasis. You're improving your mindfulness, which is the ability to live in the present moment, eliminating distractions. So start there. If you are interested and you notice a feeling of improvement in that area, scale it up to 10 minutes of meditation. Same thing, close your eyes, just be aware of what's going on around you. There are plenty of apps that'll give you a free daily meditation. Our app, the SDE method, that is one of those that has an intro to meditation to get you guys started. But again, whatever it is, you can do it listening to some calming music. You can do it in silence. You can do it sitting outside. You can do it in a construction zone. Just focus on avoiding the distractions, living in the present moment. It's okay to get distracted. Notice the thought, but let it go. Come back to your breath. That is one of the most powerful practices I have adopted for my mental health. Number 4, let's limit those antibiotic usages. If you absolutely need it, of course, but if there's an alternative your doctor can recommend for you, ask about that and start there. And in the instances where you do need to take an antibiotic, make sure you're also supplementing with a probiotic to help restore and replenish those good bacteria. And number 5, as we are increasing our whole food consumption, we are reducing our refined and added sugar consumption. Really pay attention to that, guys, because that can be extremely eye-opening. We live in an area in the United States where fiber consumption is extremely low, added sugars are extremely high, and you may not realize how many you're taking in, especially when we're buying these organic things. If you ever buy a snack for your kids, go to the store, you get a couple things that are marketed as healthy, you flip that box around, there's 10, 15, 20 grams of added sugar in a serving size of a snack, something, a little pouch, whatever it is that they're eating. And that adds up quickly. We may consume less than 10 grams of fiber, which is extremely hard to do, but it's the norm. And we may consume close to 100 grams of added sugar for those of us who are eating a decent amount of food. So be very aware of that. Through awareness, we create change. Pay attention to the things that you're putting into your body. Focus on improving what you're consuming. So increasing those whole food nutrient-dense options, reducing the highly processed stuff, the stuff with a ton of added sugars. Pay attention. Make the change, you're going to feel the difference. Final thoughts, guys. It is very common if you're dealing with some gut issues, especially things like SIBO, and they're recurring. So you treat them and they come back, and you treat them and they come back. So I'm hoping that you can take some of the tips that we put forth in this video, just being aware of some of the things that are causing that, being aware of some things you can do to improve your chances in avoiding those things altogether, and just create those lifestyle changes. There is nothing you need to do that's this drastic lifestyle overhaul to change your life. Whether you have to lose 10, 15, 100 pounds, or you just want to overcome some of these issues with a lack of energy, with bloating, with feeling depressed. All of these things come back to our overall health. When we're thriving mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, those things ebb and flow into each other. So focus on the tiny little things we can do every single day that lead to the dramatic transformations over time. That's simply by being aware of the things that are harming us, being aware of the things that can improve our lives, and just stacking those wins. Tiny little things, check that box. Little habits you can stack again that will lead to the dramatic transformations over time. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. We are going to keep these coming. Bunch of tips, bunch of different areas of our 5 pillars of health: training, nutrition, mindset, movement, habits. I'll continue to give you guys insights on my experience going through Barrett's esophagus, my healing journey, everything that's been going on. I've been doing my best to be more consistent with these videos. I'm doing a better job the last month or so. So hopefully these videos, the quality improves, the consistency improves. Love your feedback if you guys want to drop them in the comments, but I appreciate you guys for being here. If you did get value from this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us, tremendously grow the audience. And all we're trying to do here is spread positivity, help everyone live a happier, healthier life. So if you're following along, not asking for much, just hit that like, share it if you're feeling really inspired by it, and we will catch you in the next one.